Okay, so that's probably a little more controversial than the previous point, but I'd still like to open it up for discussion. This is the way I see it. Does anybody have any thoughts or comments?
Well, I think that is very true that things will be changing with automation of a lot of work. I actually recently read about talked about this topic. I forget the name, but the main topic of the book is that many works will be automated. Yes, but the important thing is that the people doing these jobs now maybe add new skills to the current job that will help them to get doing. For example, maybe as a recruiter, I will have someday a tool that directly talks with the candidates or maybe do the first screening. But my work, what will be? Maybe the human part, because that is something that can be automated, or well, maybe not in the short term. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to do that part of maybe, how can I say, the candidate experience, for example, the um, giving that kind of service to the client, be the candidate,
Mm-hmm.
be a client in itself, that is giving a human side of things, not only
Mm-hmm.
automatizing and expecting everything to work from our machines, giving
Mm-hmm.
the human touch, I think.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely a huge demand for what we could call retraining, or yes, essentially tapping people into the new economies that will evolve. Absolutely.
Yeah, actually, I have been thinking for a while that we are either going to live in the matrix. The
Yeah.
society will celebrate the birth of AI, as Morpheus says,
Yeah.
and well, things will go downhill from there.
Yeah.
Or we might live in the Wally universe. So we will all be fat people living in a ship somewhere because, well, machines do everything for us. That would be nice, actually. Well, not
Mhm.
that nice. Being fat is not great, but I prefer that future to the Matrix future. The Matrix future is scary, you know.
It's well
But
said.
yeah, yeah, I believe that we're headed that way, and it worries me a bit
Mhm.
because if everything is automated, then people will have to learn new crafts, or
Mhm.
try to um, add themselves to learn how to automate stuff or how to become invaluable, if that's the word,
Mhm.
for this kind of things. Because otherwise, people will have nothing to do, and that's not great.
Yeah. My it's outside the scope of our document, but to me, it's all about the emotional healing that has to happen, um, so that we can stop being obsessed as people around growth and acquiring and consuming, because there are plenty of resources on this planet for us to have, a human renaissance, essentially. Not have to work so much, and participate in what has real meaning, art and life and love. And the planet doesn't have to be a grind for everyone. We just have it set up that way for some reason, right now. So uh yeah, I hope it's not the Matrix or Wally, but hopefully there's a third option where we just don't work as much and live more. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, that'd be
We
nice.
yeah, we work on what is meaningful to us, and we actually start parenting our children and contributing to our communities and taking care of the earth. And that would be a great outcome in my mind. We'll see.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if the politics are going to go there. Yeah.
I do hope we can find a middle ground because
Yeah.
Just to add a little bit to what Omar said, and I
Mhm.
actually reached out to this book as you started um, talking. It's called The Rise of the Robots.
Oh.
And it starts saying something like, oh, all the jobs are taken away. Actually, the subtitle is The Threat of a Future Without Jobs. But it goes
Hmm.
to say that, yes, probably like the repetitive tasks will go away, but
Hmm.
there are still things like the human part of the job that you're doing is the part that will remain, just as Omar was saying. I don't know if that's the book he was talking about, actually. Um, so yeah, I do think that there's a lot of space. Yes, right now for our generation, probably we'll see the money part of it, like a lot of developers, a lot of project managers, and so on and so forth. But thinking about our kids, yeah, probably their jobs will be a lot different. Well, not your kids, Matt, because Hannah is big, but Pavel's daughter, for example, who's just a baby.
Yes.
Yeah, it will be different. It won't be, okay, here's the opportunity to create all the systems for the automation that is coming. It's be more like how you as a human give your human part to the society more than the repetitive tasks.
Really well said. And I like the idea. I feel like if we can do the part of at least making sure that diverse communities participate in this automating, even if they don't own it, you know, so if I'm a remote developer in Esteli, Nicaragua, and I'm working for you know, Tyson Foods, working on their automated food harvesting system, for example, and I complete that project, I get paid well while I'm doing it, but once the project is over, I stop getting paid, and that's the end, and the revolution is over. And now, aside from the fact that my family can't sell their local agricultural products because they're no longer competitive with Tyson Foods, who uses the machine learning that I programmed to make food more efficiently than I can here in Nicaragua and ship it out, I at least understand how that happened. And I understand how I could, you know, get a used electric tractor and program it to automate the harvesting of my own local farm, for example. So when people, you know, electricity is used all over the world, regardless of the economic situation. It is used everywhere to people's benefit, and people know locally how to harness it to improve their lives and to free up their time to do more meaningful things. And I believe the same will be true for automation and machine learning, that if I'm a local farmer in Nicaragua and I'm fighting the coffee rust, and I am able to leverage technologies that will selectively prune and manage my plants to eliminate the coffee rust using machine learning and AI detection or something like this, then I can benefit my local community with the same technologies that the big guys are using and so forth. So I feel like it's the knowledge of machine learning and automation, and that if people own that knowledge in their communities, then they can never be locked out of the economy completely, much in the same way that electricity did.
The other thing that I think is important is that now, since it's everything, like you're saying, now it's also like white collar jobs, not only factory workers. I feel like before, I don't know when this started, in the 80s, I don't know. It was more the big capital against the workers. It was more a thing of, okay, we'll get rid of the workers because they are too much trouble, and we'll bring fancy robots to do all the manufacturing. Now it's happening to all of us. It's not only blue collar workers, it's finance, it's doctors, it's everything.
Absolutely.
Now you'll have machines scan your x-rays and tell you, oh, this is weird.
Yep. And they're more reliable. They do a better job. Yeah.
I feel now it's more like humanity together, more like, oh, you're poor and you don't have the abilities to perform a higher skill work. It's more like, okay, us as humanity, how are we going to face automation, and how can everyone as a community grow, instead of just, oh, you're out of work, you're disposable, goodbye, find something else to do. It's more like, okay, what are humans bringing new that technology cannot do?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate you guys are so on board for that part of it. Having a little bit of a wounded child complex, I sometimes feel like I want to be the world's therapist. And I know that's not that's not my role. That's not appropriate. But it's gratifying to hear that so many of you also share the desire, you know, to not just stick to the money side of things, but to look at how do people have meaning in their lives? How do we maintain meaning as we go forward, and what role do we play in that as we transition this?